Captain Yuri Watanabe, situation report. Felicia Hardy, aka the Black Cat, is missing, presumed dead. She had partnered with Magia Don Hammerhead to blackmail the other family's leadership. Hardy betrayed Hammerhead. Using appropriated Sable weaponry, he retaliated, aggressively. Both Hardy and the blackmail material were lost in his attack. Now Hammerhead is out for blood. Blackmail no longer an option. He's gone to the mattresses, hoping to eliminate the other Magia Dons by force. To do this, he's continued to appropriate the heavy arms Sable left when they pulled up stake. We've impounded as much of Sable's equipment as we can, but it may not be enough. It's an all-out gang war, and New York is caught in the middle. But we may have just gotten lucky. The Magia have Hammerhead pinned in the old Harlem sanitarium. If we can keep his men distracted, a small team may be able to infiltrate the building and take him alive. We've got one shot at this. We have to make it count.
Getting bad down there.
Ready when you are.
Copy that. I'll get him looking the wrong way. You gentlemen ready?
Spidey, check it out.
Nice.
That's not regulation, Lieutenant.
Sorry, Captain. Birthday present from the kid. Not every day you run ops with the man, you know?
I'll let it slide. This time. Now get back on the ready line.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do this.
Any of you guys read that chapter in The Art of War about misdirection? No? Good. Magia Civil War. Hammerhead's men versus all the other families. And I'm caught in the middle. Of course.
You morons! Nobody gets in our way!
Can't believe Hammerhead picked a dilapidated sanitarium for his home base. No, wait. I can totally believe it. Just need to keep these guys focused on me, while Yuri and her team sneak in and grab Hammerhead. Hammerhead. Let me think. How about, Moose? That's a majestic animal. Maybe Stingray? Stick with the aquatic theme. Look, I'm spitballing here.
Nobody gets in our way! You better forget Hammerhead, guys! Concentrate on the spider!
Hammerhead's guys fighting the rest of the Magia is like coming to a party where you hate everyone. You keep beating each other up. I'm just expediting the process. More Magia thugs, more Hammerhead thugs, more destruction of public property. Neither side has really fallen short on manpower, huh? Hey, I can do this all day, guys. Though I'd prefer not to.
Get him out of
Yuri,
here!
you good?
Confirm target elimination. Let's move! Let's move!
Yeah, she's good.
This is Magia territory! Why did he all the help we can get? Damn it! The Magia's gonna get you for that! That'll mess you up good! Look out! Look out! You're gonna be like a bug on a windshield!
Enough with the bug puns already! Huh. Does Sable know you borrowed her shields? You know, I know a guy with a way cooler shield. That was about as tough as I expected. Better catch up to Yuri. Hey Yuri, we're all good outside. How's your team? Oh, bad reception. She must be in the basement or something. Gotta catch up to her. Oh, good. Nice and creepy. Definitely not haunted. I know Yuri can handle herself, but something isn't right in here. I've got to catch up to her. Please don't let there be any bathroom ghosts. I can't deal with that today. Probably not every old sanitarium is haunted by the ghosts of the people who were mistreated there, but this one almost definitely is.
Dirty cops thinking they can rush into Maggia territory without any consequences. They can't do that. This is our town. Our town. And ain't nobody, no cops, no hammerhead, no nobody, gonna get in our way. No, sir. They're gonna pay. They're gonna pay, and I'm gonna take their stuff. And they're gonna be dead. And they're never gonna know it. No, sir.
Somebody...
No talking during the infiltration. Huh. This looks like Hammerhead's base of operations, but no Hammerhead, and no Yuri. They were betting over districts. Over who gets to control what once the rest of the Maggia are out. Good luck with that. New Yorkers love being told what to do. The other Maggia Dons, very subtle. Don Cicero, Big C. A dirty lawyer and a worse human, if that were even possible. Don Macchio. They say he gets real creative. Don Fortunato, de facto Maggia leader. I hear his son wants out of the family business. Don Costa, Ordered hits on a lot of innocent families. Dude should be punished. Yuri! That didn't sound good. Gotta get to her, fast. Need a shortcut.
Where'd they come from? Who cares? Cops everywhere, and the spider's here too.
We'll take them out. We'll take them all out. You know what's in the room?
I look like I got a death wish?
What do you mean?
We guard the room. We ain't allowed in the room.
Real?
Oh yeah, Lou tried it earlier.
And?
Hammerhead nearly took his ear off, and everything attached to it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so quit asking what's in the room.
Got it, I got it.
I should get this guy out of everyone's way. Get snugly up there. They're guarding whatever's in that room. Could lead to Yuri. Let's do this quietly. Now for the rest.
Board. What's over there? Guess I overreacted. You picked a bad day to mess with us! Look up, you moron! You got a death wish, huh?
That's all of them. Now what did Hammerhead leave a room full of goons here to watch? Sabletech? But what's the rest of this stuff? And how'd Hammerhead get his fins on all this? That's a lot of live video gear. Pretty sure Screwball would downvote this immediately. That's new. Feels too professional for a Hammerhead production. CCTVs. Yuri's gotta be on one of them. I have to get in there. They repurposed the old security system. Come on, Yuri.
Thing is, I'm a gentleman. You'd have knocked. You could have come right in.
No.
But you had to go and sneak around. That's the problem with you new cops. No respect.
Coward!
Course used to be. We earned your respect. You hit us, We hit back. Made you know your place. Gave you the fear. But now you think a stiff breeze will blow us over? Time to bring the fear back.
Drop the gun! Hands behind your head!
How about no?
Captain, I'm sorry.
Do it! Now!
There it is. There's the fear.
Do it, Cap. Do it!
Yuri! Yuri, where are you? Yuri, you sure you're okay?
Fine. I just need a chance to catch my breath.
Let me run point. I'll track Hammerhead, figure out what he's planning. You need time to heal.
That would be... good. I need to call my men's families. Let them know what happened. But don't leave me out of the loop. You learn anything, let me know.
Promise. We'll stop this guy, Yuri.
No, not stop. We're gonna nail him to the wall.
Hammerhead made it personal today. Can't let him continue to run wild. Been hearing rumors his men are posted up at the bar with no name. Good a place as any to start the hunt.
Another day, another piece of priceless New York architecture destroyed by none other than Spider-Man, the Webbed Wonder. Was the Harlem Sanitarium in the best condition? No! Did the doctors there at one point commit horrible atrocities against their patients? Probably. Does that mean we should let spandex-suited vigilantes swing willy-nilly through a piece of our history? I think not. It is our duty, nay, our responsibility to maintain these shameful monuments to our past, because that's the America that I call home. Like I said to my doctor, when she recently told me to calm down, I won't, and I'll tell you why. I'm certain the police could have handled whatever petty argument was going down at the sanitarium without the destructive force of the Webhead's wacky weapons. What say you, New York?
passwords. Let me the hell in, you idiot!
Good one. I've been working on it.
The bar with no name. Watering hole for New York's most notorious criminals. Last time I went in there, the fight lasted most of Labor Day weekend. But now I have you, my adorable little friend. Someone in here must know what Hammerhead's planning. Need to eavesdrop on a few conversations, see what I can learn. No guns, no fighting, no powers, huh? That's expecting a lot from the folks who run through here.
Yeah, but I don't want to give you my guns.
I'm sorry to inform you that those are the rules, sir. Your weapons stay with me.
Okay, but I don't wanna.
I understand your concern. Unfortunately, I can't let you enter the bar with weaponry.
But I don't wanna.
Okay, Spidey-Bot. Work your EMP magic on that outlet. Sorry, whatever Maggia repair guy has to fix this. A lot of background noise. Should run a filter to ID mentions of Maggia and Hammerhead. Gotta isolate their vocal waveforms. Perfect. Let's see what these upstanding gentlemen have to say.
So glad we left the Maggia behind. Hammerhead's the future of this city. You don't think it's kinda messed up? What? You know, what he's doing to himself. Project Olympus. It ain't natural. What? Your tribal tattoo is natural? It's not the same. Okay.
I don't like to make assumptions, but I'm pretty sure there aren't a lot of valedictorians in the room here.
Want to stay for a beer later?
Nah, I got baseball.
Oh, what, like you're seeing a game?
No, I mean I got baseball. You know, intramural? We're pretty good.
No way.
Swear on my mother, we win all the time. Yeah, we only have that beer I hate on tap here anyway now.
Got a bloody stump up. Who ordered the bloody stuff? Beer and the shot on the bar. Shots on the rocks.
It's eavesdropping time. One of these guys has to know what Hammerhead's planning next. Which group looks shadier than the rest?
Regular old supervillains of the Mafia goons any day of the week.
Gotta isolate their vocal wavelengths.
Guy orders a rusty nail? Yeah, that'll make you tough,
That's
buddy.
crazy. All the Mafia Dons are holed up in one location? Morons think they're safer that way. Boss will show them. Gonna hit them all at once. In the war, take over the Mafia. Stupid Dons.
If Hammerhead takes out the Dons, he'll control the whole Mafia. I have to reach them first. Someone here must know their location.
Crazy broad keeps texting me.
Gotta isolate their vocal wavelengths.
This was very serious. We had worked him over for a while, and he was not.
Yo, this assault on the Mafia Dons. Where's it happening? Got a location? Nah, new guy says he knows though. Hammerhead told him personal like he says. What's up with newbies getting intel before us? Gonna bust this kid's chops.
I really hope the new guy knows where the Dons are at. Come on, new guy, you can do it. Gotta isolate their vocal wavelengths.
From that guy or no? You know, more or less. I don't think he knew his name.
Hey, heard you know where the Dons is at. Keep your voice down. It's just, I don't know.
Come on, new guy.
I knew it. Friggin' new fish. But I do know who does know. Vinny and Gino. Yeah, they're in the back, and they ain't telling nobody. Like that's news. Vinny and Gino know everything. Stop running your mouth, new guy.
Vinny and Gino, huh? Need to get in the back, see what they know. Door by the pinball machines must lead to the back. Just need to get it open.
Ah, this place is trash. Dino! Gino? No, Dino! Ugh, morning.
Pardon me, coming through.
Fuse again? Hey, what's going on in there? Vinny and Gino. Some big plans. Nice.
A map of Hammerhead's businesses? Gotta get a better look at it.
Between the distillery and the auto shop, Hammerhead's printing money for years.
Literally.
There. When I'm done here, I'm calling MJ. She's gonna want to know about those spots for her piece on crime fronts. Okay, onward. Need to find Vinny and Gino. Figure out where the Mafia Dons are.
Crazy broad keeps texting.
Hey, you heard about this Project Olympus business? I heard. I don't like it. Could be interesting. Could be. It gets you dead.
Project Olympus? Why does that keep coming up here? Yep, just like I always pictured superhero life. I'm gonna have to thoroughly disinfect Spider-Bot after this. Or put it in an autoclave, or just, you know, blow it up. Vinny and Gino, I presume. These guys know Hammerhead's next move. Think there's notes on that table.
It's a defensible location, you know.
Sure is, from the outside.
These Majidans have no idea what Hammerhead has in store for them.
They're gonna be real surprised.
Majidan's location must be in those notes. Gotta distract the Glimmer twins.
They're like it's their birthday, except they're sad.
So, like, the first day of school.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the Magia's hiding all
A lot
the
of
other
electronics
dogs
in
the
here.
same spot?
Shame if a spider poltergeist struck.
Yeah, making it real easy for us.
Why would they do that? It didn't work out well for them in the sanitarium.
I guess they're as dumb as the boss says they are. Running scared.
Shorting out the electronics might distract them.
Well, that's why we work for Hammerhead, huh?
Yeah, also the slick new Sable guns.
He has really cool guns.
Have you tried them out?
Oh, yeah. They feel real good.
See? Some people know how to do crime right.
And those people are us.
Exactly.
Bored.
AM radio. Vintage.
Damn it!
That got one of them. Now for the other. Good futz, gotta distract both of them.
Ah, you kidding me?
Now's my chance.
There an eclectic box in here?
An electric box?
That's what I said.
You said...
Dons are hiding in the Auerbach Theater. I need to reach them before Hammerhead does. Nice work, Spider-Bot. Now hide and I'll come back for you later. With several bottles of bleach. Hey, MJ. It's Pete.
Yeah, I have your number in my phone, Pete. You don't have to tell me it's you.
Right, obviously. Listen, I know you're working on that piece about Maggia fronts. I found something that might help.
Yeah?
I have the location of 4 Hammerhead businesses, and I'm willing to bet real money that they're not legit.
You have no money to bet, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'll look into them right away.
Why don't you let me do the legwork? I'll pass along what I find.
That would be so helpful. I'm on a deadline. Let's talk soon.
All units, officers transporting key Hammerhead witness requesting backup. Please respond.
A witness brave enough to stand up against Hammerhead? I better go and keep an eye on him.
You didn't need to call for backup. I really did. You don't think we can drive a guy a few blocks?
Have you seen what's going on out there? I don't trust anybody.
They're moving. I'll stay on their tail in case anyone shows up without an invite.
All clear so far. What, are you trying to jinx us? Come on. Why take chances? Because superstition is ridiculous. We'll see.
All quiet so far. Maybe too quiet. Man, I wish there was someone around to hear me say that. Hammerhead thugs. Always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I gotta keep that witness safe. This witness is staying with the cops today, folks. Nothing to see here. Move along. That could have gone badly. I should keep an eye out for more of Hammerhead's guys around the city.
Must have a mole in the department. Change of plans. I'm moving the witness to a new safe house.
Spider-Man, how's the hunt?
Good. Got a lead on the Dons. How are you?
I'm tired. Just finished calling my men's families. It was... hard. Good. But hard.
I'll take care of this, Yuri. Don't worry. Okay, on to the Auerbach Theater. It's done-sitting time.
Units in the area. Backup requested at the site of an act.
Hey, Peter, you got a sec? What are you up to?
Oh, you know, the usual. Spider-in, man-in. What's up?
I just wanted to thank you again for that first lesson. I mean, I thought we were actually gonna do stuff, but now I'm like so full of knowledge, this whole thing is unreal.
When nobody's shooting at you, it is, in fact, fairly rad.
So, when's our next lesson?
Oh, I don't know, Miles. There's a lot going on.
I've been finishing all my homework early, and all my chores are good around the house. And I haven't dunked on a single fool in basketball once, I swear.
No, that's all great, Miles. You're doing a great job. I'll, let you know as soon as I'm free, okay?
Okay, yeah. Awesome, thanks, Peter.
I have created a monster. A monster of enthusiasm. The Dons must be inside. Looks like they're safe. We're safe. Great. Oh, sorry, fellas. Tickets are all sold out. Look at those nice recliner seats, too.
We're getting those dogs, one way or another. What the hell? You're in for some...
Why'd Sable even make these dig things? I gotta come up with a better name for them.
I'll teach you respect!
You know, if you'd have just stayed home, you wouldn't have had to pay so much for popcorn.
Time to die, hero. Don't let him pick off any more of us!
Hey guys, honestly, I hear this one is better on demand anyways.
I'll break your friggin' jaw! I don't like these odds no more! We're losing too many guys! You picked a bad day to mess with us! What the... Look out! Stay out of our business!
This way! Hey, I'm Spider-Man! No, I'm Spider-Man!
More of them up on the roof. They've rigged the building with explosives. Overkill much, fellas? Gotta take Hammerhead's men out and disable these bombs. Does Hammerhead do casual Fridays? The suits must be so constricting. You should try spandex. One bomb down, one to go. Now they're on the other rooftop. Of course. More explosives. Gotta move fast. Don't you? There's two. And yes, folks, yes, it's a triple play. The crowd goes wild. Okay, the Dons should be safe now. I should head inside and check on them just in case. Hope the Dons are okay, and ready to find a new hideout. Guys, we really need to rethink your security set-up. Right. Because of the digging tank things. Obviously. Crap. This did not go well. Yuri, he got away. With the Dons.
What? Are you serious?
The Sabletech he's been stealing? She had more in her arsenal than I thought.
You told me you would take care of this. You told me not to worry.
I did, yes, and I screwed up. I'm sorry.
No more breaks. No more time off. I'm on this now. I'll call you when I've got a plan.
Crap. Great work, Pete. Just great.
Hey, guys! It's me, obviously.
Really don't have time for this today, Screwball.
There's always time for great content, especially when it stars New York's favorite spider guy in a series of high-stakes life-or-death challenges! Come on! You know you want to join the fun! Don't keep my audience waiting! Away we go! Oh, can't wait to see what thrilling action Spidey brings to the table for Season 2!
You know, I'm actually in talks with this competing subscription service, so...
Please, I basically discovered you! And if you leave, my fans will be so upset. Angry flash mobs upset! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!
Okay, since last time, I modified the Trojan she installed to ping her location each time I do one of her shows. Once I get enough pings, I can triangulate, find her hideout, and send her on early hiatus, straight to Rikers. If they see me, the hostage is dead.
Let's mix things up with a photobomb!
Those motion sensors look like they could be disabled with a web.
Oh, this is tense. Will Spider-Man get caught? Will the hostage survive? Fans are dying to know.
Hey, who's there?
Yes! Bob could prepare to be doxxed. Another one down! Oh, hey, Rastapasa757, thanks for the follow. Oh, look at that! A photobomb! Better get over there! Ooh, love, 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 love! Photobomb! Don't miss it! Hey guys, friendly neighborhood screwball here. If you like that, click the share button and tell your friends. Minty Breath 77 is wondering, hey Screwball, can I interview you for a school project? Aw, sure thing, Minty Breath. Check my website for speaking and appearance fees, huh?
Think I'm gonna give up? Think again. Who's that?
You literally didn't see that coming.
There? Damn it. Gotta be the women. Who's there?
Not gonna lie, feeling pretty good about myself right now.
My fans are seriously obsessed with this.
Sit tight. Wait for the police.
Listen up. We can't let Hammerhead continue to arm himself, and those burrowing tanks will tear apart our lockup. I'm spreading the remaining Sable gear throughout the city. Give him multiple targets.
I know,
Force him to thin his men out.
Okay, what do you need from me?
Protect the transports. We'll have multiple runs in transit at once. Be ready to back up any that get into trouble.
You got it.
Once the gear's relocated, we'll focus on Hammerhead. Stay sharp. Lives are on the line.
Not liking what I hear in her voice. I gotta make time for Yuri after this. She gives me a lot of grief, but I can't let her down. Let me see if I can pick up the police comms channels.
Unimpeded. Repeat, Convoy 3, progress unimpeded.
Route appears clear ahead. No hostiles visible. Safe House 2, ready to receive.
Okay, so far, so good.
Available units, please respond to reports of active sniper fire. Location is Museum Mile. Over.
Hey, Peter. You still busy?
Little Miles. Why, what's up?
It's just, you know, I'm really itching to get back out there. Keep training, get working on my Spidey skills.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Things have been so...
I know. You're super busy. So I was thinking, why don't I just come with you?
Come with me? Where?
Yeah, you know, like one of your missions, or quests, or patrols, or whatever you call them. Taking down bad guys, stopping evil, you know? That stuff, the superhero stuff.
I think it's a bit too soon for that, Miles. Though I definitely appreciate the offer.
Why?
Well, it's not like the movies, you know? You can get seriously hurt. There's some pretty bad dudes on the streets right now.
Well, I gotta learn somehow.
I know. We'll get together soon, okay? I promise.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Teens make me feel ancient.
All units advised, witnesses report an active vehicle shootout. Please mobilize on Museum Mile.
All units, eyes up for armed Hammerhead hostiles along transport routes.
Armed hostiles? Not for long.
Snipers, hold the convoy!
Gotta take out those snipers and keep the convoy moving.
Shh.
There. That should get things moving again.
Spider-Man, clear the snipers! Move out!
Snipers all along the convoy route, like a shooting gallery. I need to push ahead and clear the way.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
Thank you. Thanks, time to snipe some... Can't let Hammerhead's men get their hands on all those Sable weapons and tech. Line him up and knock him down. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Route's clear. Let's move.
What is it with guys like Hammerhead always wanting to fight? Probably has something to do with not having a binky when he was a baby.
Whoa, whoa! More of those...
whatevers!
It's Hammerhead's men! How'd they find us? Keep the things that contain!
Surprise, surprisers! Surprisers? Oh yeah, it's a word now. Hammerhead must have a mole in the department feeding him info on the convoy route.
I'll teach you respect! Heads up! Or Hammerhead's got a bomb! Another one of those things!
Even more, oh, that's it. I'm going with Dig Boys. That's what they're called now.
Eyes up! Another tank! You're going down! What the hell? Picked a bad date on...
Got him. The police can keep the Sabletech safe.
All units, situation developing near the mayor's compound. Something's coming out of the ground. We need backup. Repeat, assistance requested.
So much for all clear. Time to move. Feels like Hammerhead's gone to war against the police, and Yuri's working herself to the bone. I know she cares about her men, but she's gotta learn not to shoulder all that responsibility. Says the king of shouldering too much responsibility. Don't you guys hate these things? It's gonna take ages to repave. Traffic's gonna be a nightmare.
Spider-Man! We'll stay on the convoy if you can help with Hammerhead's guys!
You got it.
Watch this bug! They'll be cleaning you up with walls when I'm done! Glad you made it, Spider! We were hoping you'd swing by!
You guys know the cops have radios, right? Ambushes don't stay secret. Another Dig Boy on its way up.
Don't let him get the tank!
Are they ever gonna run out of those Dig Boys?
What the stay out of this? Watch out!
Fellas, over here! Don't listen to them! I'm the real Spider-Man! Wait, am I Spider-Man? Wait, am I real? Or fake? This is freaking me out!
Careful! We're losing guys left and right! Down here first! I'll break you, little man! Hey, Spider! Chase this!
No, they're running with the Sabletech. I've got to keep this off Yuri's plate. I'll handle it. I can handle it.
Hey, Spider! You just keep following us, okay?
Oh, I plan on it.
Love it when a plan comes together. You know, Spider?
This is your plan? This? Here's your stuff. Ah! better hurry. Curbside service. Yuri, good timing.
Hammerhead was keeping you away and we fell for it. Get back, now!
Yuri? No, no!
Prep the first responders. Make sure the ER's clear and knows we're bringing in... knows what we're bringing in.
This was all a setup. Distracting me from Hammerhead's real target. I need to get to Yuri. Why did he hit the police precinct? I thought all the Sable tech was out of there. Yuri sounds okay. Physically, at least. I know she's tough, but everyone has a breaking point. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Yuri. I should have been here.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He went straight for the cases marked Project Olympus.
Any idea what that is?
No, but he has it now.
And we'll get him.
I know.
Where are you going?
To teach a lesson in fear.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Deep breath.
You can move, or I can arrest you.
Yuri, we need to work together.
You need to stay the hell out of my way.
This could not possibly end well. Can't believe how badly I've screwed this up. The way Yuri looked. I need to find Hammerhead before she does. But how? My leads are dead. Maybe set a keyword check on the police band. Hope for some mention of Hammerhead or the Maggia. While I wait, I should hit the streets. See what else Hammerhead's men are up to.
Today, on Just the Facts, with J. Jonah Jameson, the Maggia are turning the streets of Manhattan into a gang war. Why, you ask? Because nobody listened to me when they had the chance. We just cleaned up the city, returned to our collective senses, and run Spider-Man out of town. Not necessarily in that order, then a psychopathic crime boss wouldn't be wrecking New York in some misguided pursuit of that same goal. Look, Hammerhead's impulse to take us back to a simpler time before any of us had heard of web shooters isn't wrong. But his methods are obscene. Attacking the police, terrifying citizens, the man gives simpler times a bad name. Like this infernal sodium-free beverage I'm being forced by the medical establishment to drink for my health gives soda a bad name. And meanwhile, where's our city's so-called savior, Spider-Man, in all this? I need to lay down.
Wait, keyword check has something.
The Hammerhead establishment! The bar with no name! Available units, redirect!
Someone hit the bar with no name. Need to hurry. Get there before the police and see what I can learn.
Available units, please report. Backup requested for a Maggio witness in transit. Report came in from Douglas.
Okay, got here before the police. Let's see what went down in here. This is brutal. Who did all this? Yuri. I've never seen Yuri lose control like this. Hey, what is that? Spider-Bot! Wow. Can't believe you survived all this, little buddy. Is that a phone? Call from Vinny.
Hello?
Gino, the hell you been? Lady Cop just lit up the warehouse on 3rd.
Lady Cop?
Yeah, Watanabe or whatever. She wrecked the joint. I'm dropping my engine at Mercy General, then meeting the main crew to get ready for tonight.
Ready for... what's happening tonight again?
Bro, you hit your head or something? The big show! Boss wants everyone sharp. Get your ass in gear. Meet us at the rally point.
Big show. Hammerhead must have something planned with the Dons. I need to find out what. Best bet is tracking this Vinny guy. Hope I can get to Mercy General in time. When Yuri left the precinct, she said she was going to teach a lesson in fear. That's not the part that scares me the most. It was the look on her face. I've seen that look on a lot of criminals, but never a police officer. Mercy General. Okay. Running a trace of all cell phone usage in the last 5 minutes. If my man Vinny's still here, I should be able to track him. I hope. I'm getting some signals, but I need to get closer to match Vinny's ID. Now, I just need to isolate the signal. Nope, not Vinny. Come on, be you, Vinny, be you. Not him. Gotta keep searching. Please be Vinny, please be Vinny. Not his ID. Damn. This one feels right to me. No good. Come on, he has to still be here! I feel like a spy. The most unglamorous of spies. Come on! Yes! That's him! Bless you, Vinny! There's Vinny. Better stay close, but not too close. According to Vinny, Hammerhead has a show planned for tonight. And I doubt it's on Broadway, or off Broadway, or experimental black box off of Ludlow Broadway. Come on, Vinny, give me something. You're my only hope. He's getting into a car. Bad move, Vinny. You know how valuable that parking spot was? Since Hammerhead kidnapped the other Dons, he's been quiet. My guess is it has something to do with them. I just need to find out what it is and get to Hammerhead before Yuri. Jeez, Vinny. I don't mean to be a backseat driver, but come on! At least pretend you care about traffic laws! This must be where Vinny's meeting the main crew. Should eavesdrop. See if I can get any more details about tonight's big show.
Back's getting sore. Somebody there?
Sweet dreams.
When are we heading to the construction site?
Later. Boss wants mood lighting.
You do love his drama. All right. Let me know if you see Gino, yeah? Told him to meet me here.
Whatever's happening tonight, it's going down at a construction site. But which one? Hammerhead controls a half dozen. Friday night.
Wait. We going to the east side or the west side tonight?
West side, you schmuck. Come on.
Right, sorry. Inner ear problem, you know, gets me turned around.
Construction site on the west side. Narrows it down, but not enough. Gotta keep listening in. No snoring now.
The hell is Gino? He was supposed to handle the concrete. Show starts at 9 p.m. sharp. No time for screw-ups. I'll check in on the mixes. It'll be ready by 9. Promise.
Show starts at 9. Good to know. But I still need a location.
What the hell is that?
Heard something.
Hey! Spider-Man's here! Eyes open!
You're in timeout. I'll take guard duty from here, thank you very much.
Bro, it's the site by the A stop on 34th. G-Train don't even run in Manhattan. What's wrong with you?
Give me a break, man. I'm from Jersey. A on 34th. Got it. Jeez.
Construction site by 34th. That's Hudson Yards. That's it. Hammerhead's planning something for the Dons tonight at Hudson Yards. I should make sure these guys can't show up for the assist later.
Where'd he go?
Okay, that's all of them. Apparently the big show is tonight. Why do I get the feeling it's not gonna have a happy ending? Okay, time for the show. Hope I'm dressed for the occasion. Why can't Hammerhead just be a normal Maggia criminal? You know, quietly running a waste management business, wearing tracksuits, eating lots of meatballs, running the occasional scam. Why does he have to have such grand ambitions? Maybe it's that plate in his head. Hope I'm still ahead of Yuri on this one. If she gets face to face with Hammerhead, she'll probably do something she'll regret.
Maggia snipers reported. All available units, please respond. Report came from the vicinity of Riverside.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Miles. You okay?
Why do you ask?
Right. We haven't covered Spidey sense yet. Put that on the list for our next lesson.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just that general.
You're at the hospital? Why? What happened? Did someone come after you?
No, nothing like that. It's just, I kind of jumped off a bridge.
You what?
I jumped off a bridge in Queens.
Are you okay? I'm coming to get you.
No, I'm totally fine. Well, I broke a toe. Did you know that there's nothing that they can do for that? They just kind of just wish you luck.
Miles, you can't be doing stuff like that.
I know that now.
I'm serious. You may have powers, but you're not indestructible. Trust me. Your powers... I can't believe I'm about to say this, but they're a responsibility. You have to treat them that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I know you will. And I'll see you this weekend for another lesson, okay?
Okay, thanks, Peter.
Feel better, kiddo.
Help! Get us out of here!
The Majidons.
Look who it is. The Bug. Just in time for the broadcast.
Broadcast?
Good evening, New York. Welcome to tonight's entertainment. The Changing of the Guard.
What is that?
Remember when honor and loyalty weren't just words? When the Maggia were feared and respected? Tonight, the good old days are coming back!
Help! Help!
Wish I could join the festivities. Sit tight. I'll be seeing you all real soon.
Unless I shut off the cement mixer, the Dons are gonna get buried alive. Stopped it. For now. Now to keep them off the controls. No sign of Yuri. Did I really get here first?
You wanna taste that cement food?
No, cement mixer's running again.
You ready for a new New York little time cement stop? Someone get on it!
Someone order my face! Safe again. For the moment.
Hammerhead's stronger than he's ever been! You're dead!
You know, guys, it'd be way easier for me to beat you if you just put down the shields. Can't let him get back on the mixer.
Hammerhead's gonna make this city strong as he is! Get that concrete flowing! Can't move my arm!
Cement level's still low. The Dons just need to hold on a little longer. Everyone thinks shields are so cool, but honestly, no, they are cool. Gotta get that guy away from the mixer. Another dig boy. How many cup holders do you guys have in there?
Hey, what you call them?
Dig boys?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know, man. You come up with a name for them.
How about you're dead, huh?
Oh no, the mixer's shorted out. It can't be turned off. Gotta try webbing the mixer itself. Come on, please hold. We got it. Guess I can add cement proof to my webbing's list of features.
Hey, how about a little help out here?
Everyone hold tight. We're gonna get you out of there.
Dons will be safe with the police. Now for Mr. Tall, Dark, and Flat-Headed.
Nice work, Bug. Kinda spoiled my big night, but we'll roll with it. Risks of live TV. You like? Project Olympus in action. Finished it up while you were playing with the Dons.
So that's what they're wearing in Paris this season. Hate to say it, but brushed gunmetal is not your color.
I'm trying to revitalize the mob over here. That takes long-term leadership. Now, I'm long-term.
Your parts warranty may be long-term, but you're nuts.
Nah. I'm just a guy who knows a thing or two about PR. The city don't take the Maggia seriously no more. Don't respect us. But after they see me break you in half, all that's gonna change. Time to bring back the glory days.
Oh, that is one hard head! Can't let him get me with his head! His head is like punching a wall, made of solid steel.
You guys got coming after the head of the Maggia.
And I'd like to keep them on the inside, thanks. I've punched a lot of heads. Yours has to be the hardest. Gotta be faster!
You know that?
Pot, kettle, giant exoskeleton!
under arrest!
So yeah, turning yourself into a crime against nature, maybe not such a good idea after all, huh?
Pal, you weren't listening when I said long-term. Old school Maggia's got patience. Knows how to wait till just the right moment.
Yuri! What are you... No! Yuri! Don't do this!
Captain! Stop! This is bad.
Last time we met, you said something about fear. How do you feel now?
Just dandy.
feel bad for the captain, but I'm glad this monster's dead.
Who says he's dead?